Hi, this is Regeline Sabat, also known as Gigi. You're listening to Walk With Me podcast. My guest today is Mikey Taylor. Mikey Taylor, pro skater, skateboarder, to multimillionaire real estate investor. Welcome to the show, Mikey.
Me.
It's an honor to have you here today. Now, why don't you start off by telling us more about you and where you are from?
Okay, I live in California, Southern California. I started off as a skateboard. I was 13 years old, saw one of the cool kids riding it, picked it up to fit in, and then fell in love with it. Then it ended up turning into a career. I ended up being a pro skateboarder for about 15 years. From there, I made my way into entrepreneurship and started a craft brewery with two of my friends down in San Diego in 2012, called St. Archer. And then we ended up selling that business in 2015 to Miller Coors. And then I started the company I do now, which is Commune Capital, and we are on the private equity side of real estate. So we run a company where investors can invest into our portfolios, and then we use that money to then go out and repurpose assets in the storage space and the multifamily space. And then we have a debt fund as well. So my job now is to make money for our investors, and then I get to make money when that works out well.
Absolutely amazing. Now, how important is purpose to you?
Purpose is important, just period, not just to me. Without purpose, we don't know if we're doing anything well or not.
I love it. Very powerful. And what is your purpose that you believe for your life at this point in time?
My purpose is to glorify God and the gifts He gave me, to honor Him in everything I do, whether that's my business, my marriage, me being a parent, talking with you. Everyday life is using all of the tools He gave me for the purpose in which He created me for.
I love it. And now tell us more about your company, Commune Capital.
Yeah, so Commune Capital, I started because when I was a pro skateboarder, I had somebody come into my life when I was young and help kind of educate me around finance. I graduated high school, went straight into skateboarding, so I knew nothing about money. So I had somebody that spent the time teaching me about kind of the foundation, how to plan, how to create my goals, how to put money into assets. And then fast forward 15 years when my career ended, I became one of like a very few amount of people that didn't have to work after skateboarding. I had the choice to do kind of whatever I wanted. And I saw a need in my community that no one helps us plan for this. Nobody helps kind of educate us around finance. We don't know what to do. And so I wanted to start a company to ultimately kind of give back and, help educate, and also have opportunities that skateboarders or pro skateboarders could invest in during their career, so that when their career ended, it would be maybe more like mine was, which was a total blessing, and less like the normal transition of an athlete, which is, oh my gosh, what the heck do I do? And you're kind of lost a little bit. That was the original intention. I was very kind of narrow-minded that it was just skateboarders that struggle with this. And then I quickly found out that this is kind of all of us. Like, school just doesn't do a great job teaching us about money. And so what started off for just skateboarders expanded into we have about 420 investors. There's only now 20 or so that are skaters. They're the minority now, which is cool. That the opportunity was bigger than I thought, but that also means that the problem was bigger as well. So, you know.
Very powerful. We seem to have had a technical glitch there. However,
Okay, here we
now
go.
can you tell us more about the major challenges that you had to overcome in your life?
Hurdle I had to overcome?
Correct.
Oh man. I would say the largest one for me was probably when my skate career ended. Because of the question you asked me, what is my purpose? Back then, I would have told you a purpose that was not right. It wasn't true. And I thought my purpose was being a pro skateboarder. I thought my identity was being a pro skateboarder. And when my career ended, uh, I was surprised in this overwhelming kind of feeling that I had, which was, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I felt like I had acquired all these talents that I could apply, except I didn't even know the game I was playing to even apply those tools I had learned. And so through that transition of skateboarding ending, I had probably 6 or 7 months where it was dark. I was challenged. I wasn't myself. I'm naturally kind of, energetic, happy, kind of ready to tackle the world. And it was like I was in a funk. And really what that meant is I had to answer some questions that I didn't really feel like I needed to answer prior to that. And that was, what is my identity? Who am I? What is my purpose? Why am I here? And ultimately, what do I do after this? What is my destiny? And, you know, that was not easy to figure out. Those are tough questions that you really have to kind of, dig deep down to find. But what is cool is in my darkest moment, which was, after skateboarding, that led me to having to figure out who the heck I am, and then ultimately created so much more blessings in my life that I didn't have prior to my skate career ending. So I think it was encouraging to know that even in my hardest times, they resulted in what became better than pre-challenge.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to someone who's in that same situation right now, who doesn't know where to go after a major challenge happened?
Well, I would say the first thing is when something crappy happens to us or we're in kind of a moment of pain, we assume or it feels as if we're going to be in that position forever. It's really hard to see what the other side is going to feel like, especially if you've never worked through something very difficult before. What I can tell you is it will get better. It absolutely will. And if you take the moment to persevere and push through it, you will actually become stronger than you were prior, right? Uh, and once you get through a challenging time, it actually is really encouraging for the next challenges that are going to face, because we are all going to have them, knowing that it actually is better on the other end. So I would say this is for a moment of time. It is not forever. And it's going to make you stronger. Focus on what's going to come from this.
I love it. Very powerful and uplifting. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Mikey, what is your best advice to the audience for walking with purpose and living a life of happiness?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, okay. A lot of times we get stuck in life, right? Life becomes busy, we become task oriented, and just days start flying by, right? And it can be an ultimate distraction in answering the question, what is my purpose? Right? A lot of us will live our whole lives and not be able to answer that. So I would say that should be the very first question you answer before you do anything. Why am I here? Once you can answer, why am I here? Then you know what to go do following that, right? Like, for example, like let's look at a cup, right? What is the purpose of a cup? The purpose of the cup is to hold water. Once we know the purpose, we then can establish if the cup is doing what it's supposed to do. If it holds the water, it's living out its purpose. If it's not holding the water, it's not living out its purpose. But if we didn't know what the purpose of the cup was, you can't gauge whether you're doing anything well or not. So you have to spend the time to answer that question. And then what's exciting about it is once you know why you're here, then the roadmap becomes very clear of what you're supposed to do next, right? Like a lot of people really struggle with, what do I do next? What should I be doing? How do I succeed? How do I find joy, etc.? That's because typically the view in front of them is very blurry, only because they haven't answered the purpose question. But when you answer the purpose question, it's almost like, the veil is lifted and now you have a straight shot into what you should do. And life gets exciting after that. It gets a lot more fun.
Such an inspiration. Thank you, Mikey, for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast. Now, where can the audience find you?
Okay, I'm pretty much on all the social media channels. Search Mikey Taylor, you'll find me. I spend most of my time right now on TikTok. If anybody's on TikTok, come get me there. But I'm on all the other ones. You can just search my name, I'll pop up.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out Mikey on all of his social media platforms. And you heard it here on TikTok as well, and on his website, communecapital.com. And Mikey, thank you again for being a guest on Walk With Me podcast.
Thank you. It was a total pleasure.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
All right, bye.